The end of nearly 500 years of imperial rule in China came in the first part of the 20th century. The inward-looking Qing Empire had contributed to its own demise by failing to respond to a rapidly changing world order. The 1911 Xinhai Revolution gave rise to a republican government that expelled the last Qing emperor and his family from the Forbidden City in 1924. The following year, the palace opened to the public as a museum housing one of the world's greatest collections of art treasures. But the collection was soon threatened by political instability. When Japan invaded the northeastern Chinese provinces of Manchuria in 1931, the Palace Museum director ordered a substantial number of precious items be moved out of Beijing for safekeeping. The artifacts were packed into 2,000 crates in 5 batches. Placed on wooden carts under cover of night, the items were loaded onto a train heavily guarded by police and soldiers. The relics were moved first to Shanghai, where they stayed for 4 years before being moved to the nationalist capital of Nanjing in December 1936. When the Japanese army advanced southwards in 1937, one day after the beginning of the Battle of Shanghai, the treasures moved again, eventually being divided into 3 shipments moving west along separate routes to escape the Japanese. The museum collection's journey would ultimately last 14 years and cover some 75,000 kilometers. Despite the time and distance, not a single artifact was lost or damaged. Soon after Japan's surrender in 1945, China resumed its bloody civil war between nationalist and communist forces. During the conflict, the collection was divided again. The nationalists had tried to move all the artifacts to Taiwan, but only managed to transport about 20% of the collection to the island, where it remains today. Most of the precious collection remained on the mainland, and that is what is now on display at the Palace Museum in Beijing.